Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody here. And welcome to the OCD Mikey live stream where you interact with me and ask any questions you want or discuss high end audio, which I have been doing as a career for the last 25 years. And happy to answer any questions or give you my opinion. And I know people understand that Mikey gives his opinion pretty openly. I don't hide much. Tonight, I am enjoying a big, easy pop. Prebiotics and probiotics, it says USDA organic, and it's only 35 calories. So maybe it's good for me. It's sugar, I'm sure. So, welcome everybody. We got Oscar giving a holler. We got Tommy Keogh from Killeen, Texas in the house. We got Jason White from Austin, Texas in the house. Welcome. Got Charles Harrison from Los Angeles, screenwriter. And looks like we got Tommy Clark in here. Still loving the 570s, Tom. Your guest last week was right on when he said it takes a month to get to know new speakers. Yes. Yeah, man. You can't just throw speakers in and understand them. It was like somebody asked me, you guys saw my, what was it? My short, my video about the new speakers that I have, the new from Italy, the planar magnetics. People are like, hey, how are the speakers? How are the speakers? I'm like, dude, I just fucking got them. Excuse my language. I just got them. Like, I don't have a, let me put this down a little bit. Let me see. I don't have an idea yet. As I said, I don't know, man. I need to have at least 200 hours on the speakers to break them in. And then once they're broken in, then I need to play with them and figure out where they're best. Are they best near me, far away from me? Will they fill the room? Will they not fill the room? Do I need to bring them in? What amps work best with them? I'll find what they're the best for, and then I'll tell you once I figure that out. I'll be like, either no, they didn't cut the turkey, or here's how they're best. They're best in the near field. They're best in the midfield. They're best really wide apart. They're best close together. That kind of thing. Most typically, things aren't the best together. They're typically better farther apart than they are closer together. But Tom got some 570s. Tom is, I'm here in Atlanta. Tom's across the United States in Portland, Oregon, and had never heard Fisher and Fisher. Just listened to my videos talking about Fisher and Fisher, and also entrusted me. He sent his wire and trusted me to send him speakers, and I did, and he was beside himself with how good they sound. Everybody so far that I've sent, the Fisher and Fisher is a really special speaker. I'm not kidding you. Like, I can't, it's not just a dude trying to sell it. I will put my damn reputation on it. I will put all my reputation on these speakers. Everybody so far that's bought a pair has been like, dude, I can't believe my stereo sounds this good. I can't believe that it's a new level for most people. It was a new level for me. Let me put it that way. I've never heard box speakers. I don't typically like box speakers. They're hard to really make sound good. That's why I always preferred planers in the past. But these things are like no other, man. It's really, it is my secret weapon for sure. I'm going to have them. And here's another piece of news. AGD Productions, Alberto from California, could have any speaker in his room, and he chose to have Fisher and Fisher in his room in Florida. So I will be down in Tampa. You will be able to see the Fisher and Fisher 370s, killer speaker, and you'll get to hear them as well. So if you're going to go to Florida, it's a great place. Even if you don't live there, it's a great place to travel to, especially this time of year. A terrific place to go to. And, we all have a great time. So you come down and meet Mikey. I'll be hanging out with everybody. We have great dinners, man. We have great dinners where we have a terrific mix of the greatest, funnest people. It's always a blast. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying them, Tommy. Did I hear about the coconut water inner seal issue? I did, brother. That was like nasty, man. I saw people hurling like nasty videos about the coconut water. I saw that, but it's so hard to tell. There's so much sensationalism and fear on the internet trying to make people scared. We talked about it um last week, last live stream. We talked about making people scared to buy Wilson. Harsha just said hi. Namaste. Namaste, Harsha. So Harsha has Wilsons, right? Harsha, you probably did you freak out? Did you go, oh shit, are my Watt puppies gonna be, don't you have Watt puppies? You have the little Wilsons. Did you think, oh my God, I bought a messed up speaker? Or did you think this guy's just trying to cause a ruckus before he introduces his own speaker, which is what he did? He's causing fear right before he releases his own silly $3,500 DIY speaker, which it's really cheap. I mean, I can see they look like Peerless drivers. The big one might be a Tang Band or something like that, but they're all copies. All this shit is just like trying to make it sound like something else, trying to do what somebody else did, trying to make it sound like planers with a back wave, or a dipole, but whatever. It's all ploys to sell shit. We're all selling shit, right? All of us. Any of us that talk about hi-fi, whether we divulge that we're selling shit or whether we try and hide it, like some people, we're all selling something, man. I'm just open about it. I just say, hey, these are the things that I like, and I want to earn your business. And I sell, and I'm a salesman. I'm selling you stuff, but I have a different a different ethic in terms of and a different desire of getting people across the line. That's what makes me different from any other seller. Is I strive to get you across the line rather than keep selling you stuff every other year or whatever. I want to get you out of it, and then when we meet, we're doing other shit. Like, I'm coming to visit you, and we're going scuba diving, or we're doing motorcycle touring, or we're racetrack time with the cars or whatever, other shit. Audio is a very small part. I mean, it seems like, oh, it's the center of the world, but it's not. It's just a thing. It's just like a check it off the list. Audio, okay, check. Let's do other shit. But the audio needs to deliver. When you go to sit in your audio room, it needs to move you to the point where you're emotionally moved, and then it's like that, then it's doing something. Then it's like I often say, it's like, sometimes I joke around and say, who needs psychedelics? I have an audio system. Or who needs drugs? I've got an audio system. Because that audio system totally removes you. It's definitely an escape mechanism, just like drugs or alcohol would be in many ways, except you don't, it's not nearly as destructive or detrimental to your health and your relationships and your well-being and all that, you know. Um, yeah, so let us know, Harsha, what was your feeling? You're a Wilson owner. We could also ask Shane if Shane shows up. Oh, by the way, I have an announcement to make. We were going to have a guest, Ryan from Vapor Audio. He's not feeling well, and so he asked if he could just come back another time. So he will come another time, and we will just spend this time together. And Ryan will come back another time. Now, Ryan has become a friend. You understand? So if you guys don't know, my first hat in this industry is making cables. That's how I got my start in the industry. And quickly, I became well known as a very good cable brand. And so I showed with many of these at CES, at the shows, Rocky Mountain. I was teamed up with some great companies, and I did every single show, man. I was providing cables. And so I met Ryan doing that, provided cables for the room. Lampizator was in the room. It was Lampizator. We ended up with Jeff Rowland amps, which was because the Lampizator amp blew up that was there. So we needed a fill in, and that's how I came to love Jeff Rowland. Jeff was there, really nice guy. He said, "Sure, I'll loan you an amp." Um, we put the amp in. Jeff came into the room, listened to the Ryan's speakers, and Jeff stayed there for like an hour. He didn't want to leave. He really liked it, and I ended up going to Colorado Springs. This was in Denver. I ended up going down that year to Colorado Springs to hang out with Jeff, go listen to his rig, which was B&W Nautilus at the time. I'm not sure if he still uses those. And he wanted a streamer, and I was carrying Antipodes at the time because I would show with Antipodes as well. And I brought him a streamer, and got him industry accommodation, and I got to know Jeff, who's a really interesting guy, and he's a motorcyclist as well. So we got talking on, we became friends pretty quickly. Anyways, I don't know how I got off that. Harsha, tell us how you felt when you saw that video about What Puppies. What was your feedback? What did you feel? Do you love yours, or do you think there's something broken on them? Still moving them around now, trying them closer to the front wall today. Interesting. Yeah, good for you, man. Try them around and figure out where you like them. I would figure away from the wall might be good, just because it's got a back wave. But yeah, you need to do it each for your room. I mean, in my room, it's that way. In your room, it might be better to have them closer to the wall. You will get more of a reflection from that back wave. If you put it into the corner, if you put them closer to the front wall, you'll get more of a reflection. So that might help with your image. But typically the Fisher and Fishers, okay, and I've told you guys this before, you got to pretend like when you go wide with your speakers, you want to bring them in a little closer towards you. So you got to look at the floor and imagine there's like an arc, like on your floor, like your seating position is the middle of the clock, and then you've got this round, and you place your speakers on that arc is where you put them, and you don't set them wide and just tow them in. If you want them pointed towards you, you bring them in on the arc to get them. You spread them out a little farther, which will point them in towards you. You see what I mean? Again, it's not like you got a straight line across the room left to right, and you put your speakers on that line, and then you aim them in and aim them out. If you want to aim them in, bring them in on the arc and get them in and a little to the side and a little bit closer. That is, from my experience, what I've had the best luck with box speakers. It's like always like that. With the planers, I can pretty much put them straight to the wall on that line and then aim them in and just get this mirror, this angular, they shoot straight in at you. So good, Tommy. That's a great thing to do, man. Move them around. Hey, Mikey, he's liking the new microphone. I thought you were talking about me, the new mic. I'm like, oh, what did I do? The new microphone. Yeah, man. It's a sweet one. It's a Neumann, made in Germany. And I got the little, what do you call that? The interface. We may take a call. Maybe I will call somebody. Tommy, did we talk to you? I think we did, but we couldn't hear. Now I can patch you guys in. So if someone wants to come in, they can let me know, especially if it's somebody I know and I've got you in my phone, I can just call you and I can bring you right into this and patch you right in. Yo, Larry, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Steven Scunch Cake. Hello from Florida, new to the tribe. Can't wait for the Puritan to arrive. Yeah, buddy, man. It was the order went in today, so it'll probably ship. If it didn't ship today, it'll ship tomorrow. What is the new mic? It's right here. It's a Neumann. I don't know if you can. I'm not going to mess with. I can grab you another. I have two of them, so hang on. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd the other one go? Can't reach it. Damn, that thing was back in there, man. Neumann BCM 705. So this is professional level. These are the same ones, evidently, they told me, that Howard Stern uses or whatever. So it's a professional broadcast mic. Typically it hangs like this, and you talk into it like that. But if I do that, I have to have an arm up here, in the way. So just typically for radio guys that aren't on video, they can talk like this and the arm is up there, and then they have their desk to work on. Well, I have an arm down low and mine's like that. So it's killer. If you see this logo, and it's a Neumann, very famous company that makes microphones. Neumann U87, U57. These are very famous vocal mics, and with a long history. So that's for the second one. For this will be set up. I'll set up in this room for guests and everything like that, and then eventually I'll be able to have guests and have a bigger desk and guests and just do it like that. So that'll be cool. Tommy Clark had not appreciated that part of it, just getting your mind around the change. I know, man, right? Like Tom is still it's still gelling for Tom, like what's happened in his audio realm. It has gotten so much better that he doesn't know what to do. But that's great, man. Your exploration. Now you're doing the right thing, man. You're moving them around, trying them different places. Get yourself a laser measuring thing, and then you can put it like somewhere right on your chest or the same place to an ear, keep your head straight or something, however you want to do it, just to measure to each driver. And you can put it on the top of the speaker and get the speakers evenly spaced from the front wall and spaced from the side wall, and then angle them in so they're at the right angle. So they're both at the same angle, in other words. So it's great, man. I'm glad. You're going to get it to a point where you're going to be you'll be like, oh my God, there it is. Just like a middle center image hitting you dead in between the eyes. And it doesn't, the sound is not even coming from the speakers. It's just in the middle of the room. You're like, gosh, it's so weird. My speakers are over here and over there, and I don't hear any sounds coming from them. All I hear is shit right in the middle. A lot of people used to ask me, do you have a center channel somewhere? No center channel. Hey, from Kentucky, love the show. Right on, Carrie. Thanks for joining. Kentucky. I heard about the isn't the maybe remember. I remember that it was an Indian name, a Native American name that was Kentucky, right? And it meant, God, I want to say something kind of dark, like something about the land of the crow or of the, maybe man. Tell me what the history is behind Kentucky. See if that's right, if I remember right. Steve DeHardy, what's up, buddy? Steve DeHardy's also speaker designer and engineer. Aha, the new mic. You know it, buddy. That's it. That's the one I've been talking about. Hey, Mikey, for the same money, which way would you go? An MPD6 with an MPS X or an MPS 8 with Stream X? MPD6 with an MPS or an MPS? Oh, you're talking about the all-in-one player. It depends, man. I mean, there's two. You're not. Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you a couple things. MPD6 with an MPS with the streamer board inside it. Or wait a second. You're saying MPD6 with an outboard MPSX, right? Or an MPS 8, which is the all-in-one with the streamer. Is that what you're asking? It's better to have separates, okay? But in the case of the MPS 8, once you get to that thing, um, you lose a power supply. So you kill the beauty of the MPD-8. The MPD-8 is the end all be all DAC. When you add the transport in it and streamer, you for the sake of convenience, you dumb down the DAC. You take out a whole toroid, a whole power supply, so you can fit that other shit in there. You know, and yeah, and the second generation is better, bro. The second MPD-8 is a better sounding DAC. So holler at a brother, man. I mean, if you want some consultation, just call me. You know, I'm the number one guy to buy playback designs from in the USA anyways. So you definitely want to do it. Call me up. And we're back. Yes, bicep. What's up? Cuz for the girls. Mike, what do you know about Evolution Acoustics MM3 with Exact Box, big external crossover? I remember those are pretty wicked speakers, man. You know, I don't I got to tell you, I think they have, for me, my experience with them is they were always more visually appealing than they were sonically amazing. Like I'd see them and just be like, oh my God, look at these things. They look so wicked. Jonathan Tim, right? Isn't that the guy's name? Um, and then they'd be with Dart Zeal and stuff, and I'd go in expecting, you know, to be floored, like just blown away because of all how everything looked, and I knew how expensive Dart Zeal was and everything, and I'm just expecting like to be like a total something I've never experienced before, but I was like, I don't really get it. You know, I'm sitting in there scratching my head. And over the years, with a lot of those real, and I'm talking about the top of the line Evolution Acoustics. I don't know what the MM3 is, but these things were bigger than I was. I mean, they're freaking behemoth, right? Um, After many years of seeing those real expensive high-end thing, I just started, it became clear to me that they were something different than real than the rest of the hi-fi. And it wasn't because they were better. It was because they were just more expensive and ostentatious. Like, you know, it was just more a trophy. So now I call it trophy audio because I think that's fitting. You know, it doesn't slag on it in any way by calling it trophy audio. It just says that it really does, there's zero value to it at all. It's not trying to be a performance. It's not trying, it doesn't beat anything necessarily in performance. It just beats something in cost and look. It's a trophy piece, you know. Um, so um so I don't know much about them. They've always been beautiful looking, but I've just never quite been like, oh, amazing speaker, you know. um and I remember that crossover. That crossover is nuts, man. That thing, I remember seeing it. I remember stopping and looking at that crossover box and looking inside and being like, whoa, look at this thing. It's a lot of crossover. um It's interesting to me that they go that hardcore with such a big, expensive speaker, and they don't and system really, and they still run it through a passive crossover. It's kind of, I guess they just do it for convenience or something like that, but it's really not. When you're in that high of a realm, I think you'd use an active crossover. It's weird, but they still run it through all a bunch of caps and a bunch of crap, you know, inductors and whatever. When are the Oriacos going to become available? They're available now, buddy. You can buy the ones that I have if you'd like. I will spend a little more time with them, but those are very special speaker. They're very unique. They're different than anything else that I've heard. And the tone wood with them, they do something unique. They're and I'm looking forward to spending more time with them. I really have very little time with them, but it was clear. The second I heard piano, I went, holy shit. So I was listening to them and I was like, wow, these are imaging really good. And I was like, and everything sounds good. But look, I was coming from Fisher and Fisher to those and Fisher and Fisher floor standers. So I was like, okay, it's really good, but it's still not as good as Fisher, right? Um, But it shouldn't be at its price. I was listening to, what were we listening to at the time? 270s. So we're listening to $9,000 floor standers, right? And so but then piano came on, and I think I played that piano tune. When piano came on, I was like, holy shit. Okay, this is piano right in my room. And that stood out. So piano to me stood out. And that was the thing that the Oriaco did, that I was just like, okay, here's the strong suit, acoustic instruments and vocals, and I have, again, it probably does more than that, but those were the things that jumped out at me in the first, hour of listening. We listened to them for like an hour. Maybe two max, and that's all the time I've got listening. So very little time listening, and they're in a very big room, and I had them sitting not on proper stands, just like on, some flight cases, because I don't have stands. I sold my stands. Typically, I get monitors that have their own stands. If I want to stand, I don't have just generic stands anymore. I've been purging all that stuff. Hello, tribe from Moidle to Toidle Beach. My searching could end tomorrow when my new AA DAC is scheduled to arrive. You know what, brother? You want to hear from the other guy that got his DAC today. Where am I? Let me find him right here. Okay, Randy is in Florida, and Randy says, okay, and this is verbatim. I'm just reading this thing. He got his AA DAC today. Oh, Mike. Okay, Mike. Fucking A. This thing sounds good. And I don't have my good amplifier back yet either. I'm running it through the SVS Soundbase $500 special amp. And these are, I'll tell you guys right now, I live for this kind of comment. Okay. I want, and I say it time and time again, I don't just give you guys a guarantee that it's going to work when you get it. Like a lot of people, guaranteed not to be DOA. That's not my guarantee. My guarantee is that it blows your mind, that you're like, oh my God, I totally got my money's worth with this thing. Those are, I mean, even the $26,000 DACs that I sell, people are like, dude, totally worth every penny, on down to the $2,500 DACs that I sell. So that's my trip. My trip is getting these messages, blowing your guys' mind, so that you tell everybody, holy shit, Mikey's the man. If you want to get a rig, call this guy up. That's my deal. And I don't leave you hanging. I don't just sell products. I don't just sell boxes to you. I actually work with you to get your system across the line. Jared from here, he's right here. I don't know. He says, see you there. I don't know if you're watching, Jared, but Jared contacted me today. He's either going to get 670s or 770s. And I'm going to do a walkthrough with him on a WhatsApp. So he's going to hold his phone up. He's going to show me his room, and we're going to talk about which one will be better for that space. And it'll be the same thing. I will send him speakers with a guarantee that they're going to blow his mind. He's going to have to put on Depend diapers because he's going to shit himself. I mean, that's how good these things are. And after listening to almost every one in the lineup, and I think there's only, wait, have I heard them all now? 370, 470, 570, 670. I haven't heard the 1000s. I've heard everything but the 1000s right now. So the 170, 270, and 370s were new for me this time around. And I'll make a video tomorrow showing you guys. I'll just walk behind them and show you the difference in size between the 170, 270, and 370, just so you can see. But those I hadn't heard. And now I just know. Now I can. It's such a perfect product for me to sell, because I know not only are they not coming back, but it's not going to be a thing where you put it in and go, kind of sounds like my old speaker. I can't really tell the difference. No, it's going to be like, what the hell, Mikey? What's going on in here? What did you just do, dude? What is this all about? Like, oh my God, a whole new level that I didn't know existed. I didn't know this was possible. I'm hearing mid bass and stuff, man. I mean, whatever. If you go to Florida, go to Florida. I don't have the room number right now, but it's AGD Productions. I'll be in there with Alberto. And then I'll probably be at Southwest. I'll probably be with Alberto again at Southwest. Depends if he's going there or not. But I will be teamed up. I'll be at every show, even if I don't get a room and I don't do my own room. I'll find somebody that with amps and whatever that doesn't have that can roll my speakers in, so you guys can hear these things. If you don't, if you need to hear them, right? You're gonna hear them in a shit ass hotel room, anyways. But I know how to make the room sing, and then that can happen for you too. Barry Cox enjoys the show. Thanks, Barry. I appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Barry's the local. Barry, you're my local Atlanta guy, right? Yo, Tribers, Drago checking in from Evanston, Illinois, man. Like clockwork, man. He's always here. He's repping Evanston, man. You are a strong rep for Evanston. Barry, yeah, Barry, man. I think I'd have to see. I can't zoom in, but Barry, I think you're my local dude that I just saw. Charles, Mike, how close are you to 30K subs for your channel? I don't know, man. I think I'm like 80. Am I like 80 people away? Shit. If there's 80 people watching right now, we got 161 of you. If you have not joined or subscribed, please do. And I wonder if I have a way to find out. Maybe I should give something to the 30,000th person. I should give something away. What should I give them? Something out of my closet of goodies. Let's see. Let me take a look, Charles, and I'll answer you right now. Let's see. I have 29,029. So I need oh shit. Okay, I need 1,000 subscribers. Okay, my bad. I thought I was at like 29.9. I need 1,000 subscribers. So whatever, it happens. I mean, again, it's not like I'm tripping for. I could play the algorithm, right? I know how to do it. I made fun of clickbait a couple days ago. It's more fun for me to just make parodies and make fun of the stupid clickbait shit, because I can't do clickbait and be serious. I can't do it. It's too, what's the word for it? Just too silly, stupid, trite, weak, empty, shallow. There's no spirit in it for me. There's no heart in it for me to do that. It's a logical thing. It's in the brain. Like, I know what makes you guys click. It's drama, a train wreck. I just need to do a train wreck, and then everybody's going to click, and that's how you get your views. So I do funny shit. I put a banana, in a measuring thing, because you know what? I'm just gonna make fun of it. It's so stupid to me that, and the sad part is I could have a channel where I was serious, and I put each title was like, Mike discusses, the differences between this or that, or, and be serious. And if I just put serious titles like that, I wouldn't get enough views on it. It wouldn't get around much. But you put shit like the best, amplifier, of 2025. You put something like that, then people are going to click. Or I put, things that piss you off, like I call it a blow dart. I blow a dart into the sheep herd, which is like the measurements for dicks. That's a funny thing, man. That's a funny statement, and people get it, and it's being cheeky and smartass. It's right up my alley, So I'll continue to probably play with that, and just because I can't take it serious, I can't take clickbait serious. You guys deserve better than that, and I figure everybody else, man. I heard this another channel that has 100,000 subscribers, and he's another audio guy, and he's just, I think he's become an audiophile or whatever. I think he deals with cheaper stuff anyways. He was introducing a $3,500 speaker, and he was just talking, and just the words that they use, it's the same shit as the magazines, it's like, the speaker was designed to showcase three-dimensional imaging. It's like when you say that, I'm gonna puke on your floor, turn around and walk out. You know, you know how many times we've heard that bullshit, dude. But I guess the younger people haven't heard the bullshit yet. So you guys are still like you haven't. You're still susceptible to it, and someone can talk to you in those same old stereophile terms that like the magazines have been using forever. It's just so stupid, man. Oh God. I just don't have the stomach for it. So I can't do that shit. I can't tell you guys that. Did you ever hear me say that any of my shit has a holographic image? I don't use that term. It's stupidly overused and it means nothing. It's just like it lets us know that you don't know shit. Okay, you're going to call it holographic soundstage. You don't know shit, brother. You can't use any other words except holographic soundstage. That is a mindless comment. It's a robot comment. It's a parroted comment, like a parrot just parrots that shit back. It means nothing. It lets me know you don't know shit. So, anyways, so that's it. What works best for me, my clicks, is when I go off, when I get angry. If I get angry and I start shredding some shit up, people love it. But you guys have to understand, I don't really like doing that much. And it's not because I don't like doing it, but it's like I'm getting into a it's almost attack mode kind of, or like there's like sometimes it's resentment against the industry that fuels me. But and sometimes it's anger, and that doesn't feel good coursing through the veins, you know, like it's a sort of a catharsis at some point, but in the end it's like, you know, it's not a good vibe happy thing, you know, it's like an attack. So many times and those are always the ones that get the most clicks. You know, it's funny. So I've learned over the years, just freaking say what I want. I mean, I always kind of have, but just say what I want and do what I want. And it doesn't matter. Do the goofy. I don't have to suck up to you guys to get clicks. I don't have to put Wilson pictures in my thumbnails and use Wilson's name and Magico's name and all the other Boulder's name and all the other names that people haven't earned. That's the thing about a YouTuber. A YouTuber can all the goodwill that Magico has put over the years into their brand, all the money they've spent to make their name a household name. Somebody on YouTube can just use their name and put it in a title, and they're instantly garnering the goodwill from that company has worked for. So you can get complete idiots that don't know shit that use Wilson and Magico in their name, and they draw a crowd. And they're getting attention when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about a lot of times. And it's not all of them. I'm just saying you could, if you wanted, you know, anybody that didn't even have, you could start a channel tomorrow and just put those names in there and you'd get a ton of clicks. Greetings from Tampa, Multi-Shant. What's up, Shanti? Good to meet you. Yeah, the audio industry is full of guys who are trying to sell you another speaker with every single video. There's only a couple guys I trust are trying to tell me the info I need and not sell me. Well, everybody's trying to sell you for the most part, right? And there's nothing wrong with selling you as long as selling you is done with integrity, right? If you know, and as long as they're not cramming it down your throat or like really bugging you. Like for instance, I don't call when I talk to somebody and they call me up and they're interested and they the first thing they say is, "Hey, Mikey, I'm interested in a speaker. I'm interested in a DAC. I'm looking for something to buy," and they want to talk with me. Okay, I will talk with them, and if they don't want it right then and there and they want to think about it, I never call them back. Okay, I do not follow up. Period, because I think they can come to me if they want. I swear to God, and I tell them. I say, look, I'm not going to call you back, and I don't want you to think that it means I don't want your business. It's just I'm not a pushy salesman. I don't, you know, I don't need this one sale that I have to like call you back and try and close you and call you back and try and close you. And that's typically what a lot of dealers will do. And so maybe this is what you're talking about, is where people call back and they call you back and they're trying to close the deal and they keep trying to close the deal because they're desperate for that sale. I am fortunate enough that I'm not desperate for any one sale. So I don't have to do that. And I let it go. So, but yeah, you have to trust somebody and then, you know, roll with them and know that you're going to be taken care of. So Maple 200 is looking for a brand. You forgot the name of. They are large amplifiers with a cat silhouette on them, brushed aluminum, high power. And I know exactly what that is. That is called a Danish Audio Design, DAD, DAD, Danish Audio Design. And interesting brand. They really they were in touch with me for a while. But they wanted me to come out to Denmark and check things out. They weren't willing to ship something to listen to. You know, when somebody really wants you to carry something, I think they should, not be worried to ship it to you, if you've never heard it, you know. Now some brands I'll just buy, like if for instance, Grande Note. I've heard it at every show. I go see Max. He's a great guy. I like the guy. He's the owner. So I like the people, right? And I told you about how I have to like the people. And his sound is always killer. But I've never heard Danish Audio Design. So I don't know what the shit. And they tell me it's the best thing ever. And everybody says that, right? Their shit's the best. It's always that. Um, and it's not always so. And their stuff was not cheap, and they're like, and I looked at some pictures and I saw some pictures inside and I was like, I don't know. It didn't give me enough motivation to pull the trigger and buy it. And if they want to fly me out, fly me out. It's my time. It's not like I've got time to freaking go to Denmark from here and just take time out of my life to go hear your shit. So to expect me, what did they say? If you spend your own money to come out here, and then if you buy our shit, we'll take the price of your travel off our shit. And I'm like, that's pretty cheap, that's pretty cheap. If you've got money, and then they, in that same breath, they're telling you how wealthy they are. They're showing you pictures of the big house on the lake and all that shit. And this dude's so loaded and he's so well, if he's so loaded, fucking buy me a ticket, man. It doesn't cost that much money, whatever. 1,000, and they're like, we'll put you up and all that stuff. It's cool, but don't make me pay to come listen to your shit. And that's what it was with them. So I'm like, whatever, dudes. You're not, you're not, you don't want me bad enough. So that is the brand that you are looking for. It feels like the big channels like Andrew Robinson, Cheap Audio Man, well, yeah, Guttenberg are all just salesmen. Well, Guttenberg is absolutely, he's a clerk. He used to be a clerk at an audio store. There's Jay-Z Augie was a clerk at an audio store. You know, some other folks, I don't remember who else. Some guys, Steve Huff is a camera dude and a ghost hunter that like came into our sideways into our business. Ron Bernay is like New Record Day. I think he did like record reviews or something like that sort of started doing hi-fi. Then there was that guy, what was his name? Sean? No, or is Sean Cheap Audio Man? No, that's Randy. Randy Cheap Audio Man is like, he's Cheap Audio Man, like he's not hi-fi. So but yeah, these guys, I mean, Steve Huff is the most obvious one who he's a paid promoter. I mean, people send him shit to say good things so that it will help their sales. It's much cheaper for them to do that than to market in the magazines. It's much cheaper, and you actually get more. You get more for your money by hiring somebody like me to talk about your shit. But I don't sell my services like that. Many of the other channels do. They sell advertising, they sell sponsorship and all that kind of stuff. I kind of have told you from the beginning, I won't do that. Just show me your support and buy your stuff from me. And then I don't charge to consult, and I'll help you get through your system, and then I won't sit there saying good shit about every, how many emails I get for stupid shit, like about like these Chinese companies that are selling silly little hi-fi things or little, just everything, man. It's like every day they find me somehow and they're like, oh, we see your YouTube channel and we'd like to collaborate and blah, blah, blah. And you can try and leverage your YouTube channel to make money from, promoting products, I've got this toothpaste and whatever, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, so I don't want to do that, but yeah. Yeah, so I'm reading a little bit more. There's no technical knowledge between them. It's pretty pictures and blabbing. Yes. And it's all going to shake out over time. What happened with the audio magazines will eventually happen with these channels. But the funny part is Gutenberg has more subscribers than anyone, and they're and again, and some of these guys that he's it's like how did they get there? I think they started earlier or something, or they who knows what they did, but it's like somehow they get across to the masses. Maybe they don't piss anybody off. They're super like they're like politicians, right? Just like be, like whatever, likable, like sell yourself. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But you know, yeah, it's you got all kinds. Exponent is a cool experience, but every bit of what Mikey talks about is immediately and glaringly, evidently, continuously. Did you finish? Glaring evidently continuously. Um uh so um yeah, you could go into what you mean if you want to, Andrew. Because that I could take this in several different ways and go in the wrong on down the wrong path. If James Larson from Audioholics is trustworthy, but his boss Gene comes across like a shill. Yeah, I don't know much about Gene other than he hates cables, and he's like, doesn't he have a website that that's the other thing is some of these guys that are sellers, they have websites and they're like forums. So they have they're dealers that have audio forums, but they're in the background. Like some of them are open about it, but some of them they don't. There's like I think is it Audio Shark that's uh Suncoast Audio, like they got their fingers spread out in different ways, and it's like I mean, I guess it makes sense from a business standpoint. You try and lock shit up soup to nuts, but you have a forum, you can shill your stuff and send people to your dealership, and you don't necessarily have to divulge any of that, and so the bottom line is, just find somebody you can trust, and then find somebody with a track record, where, it's not just selling shit. It's actually getting people stuff where they feel like they totally got their money's worth and they're blown away and they can't believe that the audio is that good. And there's plenty of shows. Mikey, it seems like amps blow up at shows a lot. Is that a thing? Um, I didn't know that they did that a lot, but typically what happens many times is like it's a these shows in many ways like very few of us have totally a broken in rig that's already tested, been broken in, that we bring to the show. We try and do that, but more often than not, it's last minute. Oh shit, put this together, bring this together. Is he bringing this amp? Yeah. Okay, I got the speakers. Okay, do we have speaker cables? Yeah. Okay, who's bringing those? Okay, that kind of thing. And then you're putting shit together that may have never been together, and or it's a brand new design. So Lucas's amps were 211 tube amps. They were brand new. And it was with Ryan's brand new speakers that were just these massive things, and it was just too much for them. They cooked. And who knows? It can be many different things. I mean, high-end audio is tweaky stuff. And if you're putting it together with, first time things, a lot of times that can cause the problem. But I didn't know that happened a lot, but yeah, it does. Love My Wilson's not broken at all. See, look at that, man. What did you think of that video? Did you see it? Are you going to be you willing to talk about it, or are you going to keep your mouth shut? What do you think? Do you think Danny's full of shit, or do you think, or what? So let me get to the guts of it. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Tribe. Hope everything is doing fantastic. Yeah, Matika. Good to see you. Matika is a client as well. Tom says, what is my opinion of Antipodes these days? I haven't heard Antipodes in a while, and I know they've made a lot of leaps and bounds. But my opinion of streamers in general came from years ago when, I opened them all up and I looked inside and I realized they're just regular computer parts. Okay. This is a freaking Asus motherboard with some RAM in it and a freaking, optical drive and some SSDs and I could put this shit together. I'm like, this is nothing special. And they're selling that shit for 10 grand because it's a cloaked computer. They cover some of the outputs on back and they only show you the ones that you need. And it's like a real like stealthy way to hustle. You're basically hiding the fact that it's a normal computer. You're putting it in another chassis that does not read to the human eye as a computer chassis. It reads to the human eye as a piece of electronics, like audio electronics. And if you can do that visually, you're fooling people into not realizing that this is just a damn computer. And about the easiest thing that you could ever ask any computer to do is to spit out a bit stream of music. Like, I mean, computers are far smarter than that, right? They're far more capable. And you're asking it to do third grade math, you know? So, and then you're charging now it seems like every streamer's $20,000. Do you have any idea what kind of a freaking AI NASA level freaking supercomputer you get for 20 grand? You get something that would be that you'd never even use. You'd never be able to use it. It would be way beyond your capabilities. But yet they will take something, a regular computer, overbuild it with a beautiful linear power supply and all this shit, put it in a box, and it'll still only spit out digital bit stream of music. And then they want to get 20 grand for it. So for me, I don't give expensive streamers much credence because I think it's all in the DAC. I think the DAC is where the rubber hits the road. That's my experience. It's much more important to put the money into a DAC and spend 5 grand on a streamer and put 26 into a DAC, than it is to, go half and half. So I say 80%, DAC, and just in the case of playback designs, it's like 40%. The streamer, the streamer's 11,500, the DAC is 26, but the DAC could easily be $35,000. I wouldn't be happy if they did that, but they could do that. You look at these DACs out there and they're all 50, they're all inching up. There's stupid shit. I don't know why or what. I try to today. I was talking to somebody and I was like, man, I wonder if is it like crypto that all these people that have like a bunch of new money and they just don't give a shit. They're just throwing it away because it wasn't like they didn't earn it, you know? Um, and they're just buying stupid shit. Like, remember when Lamborghini used to be something? Now it's nothing. It's no big deal. Every freaking YouTube kid has a fucking Lamborghini, they're not even that special. Certain things used to be, and so there's a new level of money that's getting thrown around that's pretty obvious. Maybe it has to do with social media, probably has to do somewhat with social media, somewhat with crypto, somewhat with maybe I don't know about inheritances, but something is there's been like a change that has happened. And so I just heard, remember that brand Constellation that I just showed you how retarded it was inside? I think they're coming out with $110,000 stereo amp. Just retarded shit. They're just trying to kick the wealthy in the balls. That's all there is to it. And I sometimes think to myself, why don't I do that one day? Why don't I could make something that looks cooler than what these guys do. I mean, some of these designs are pretty fucking cool. I got to say, Griffin is badass looking. Dan DiAgostino is beautiful stuff, but it's not my style, but it's pretty freaking badass. Even though it's not great audio in my opinion, the chassis looks really good. So it's good for trophy shit, right? So sometimes I wonder, should I just take, I know guys that can build me amps, should I just take and that have designs and just make a sick chassis? I've got ideas for chassis that are just super cool. And should I just make one and sell it for 150 grand, 200 grand? I mean, that seems like what people, there's just a lot of opportunism in the industry these days, and it's just, I don't know. It kind of just bums me out. But Antipodes is good stuff. I like Mark. Mark is very smart. He's the owner of Antipodes. I've known him for a long time. And you know, It's good stuff from what I know. I don't know what they're all about though. I saw him in Munich and just said hi. And Andrew Swift, I went to Expona last year. It was cool to look at all the gear in one place, but it's terrible for demos. Yeah, it's terrible for demos. There's too many people. It's overcrowded. It's a freaking zoo. You're never going to see everything. If you're exhibiting, you're going to get overlooked because everybody's on a freaking time schedule looking at their clock like, holy shit, I can only spend 5 minutes in this room or I'm going to miss that other room that I've been trying to see. So I think it's useless, but it's amazing that everybody flocks to it, you know. As an attendee, it's definitely more fun than as an exhibitor. It's kind of crazy how they pulled it off. Everybody thinks they need to be there, but they're going to get really shitty ROI. You know, the smaller shows are much better for getting recognition and letting people spend time with your product and getting a good feel for it. It's just Expona is not that. Matika, oh, that's right. Matika is in Portland and saying he's got to come over to Tommy's place and listen to the rig, man. You got to do it, man. What's up, Mikey and Tribe Oaktown? Sending big love. What's up, man? Welcome. Dan DeBaca here. The speaker comparison you did was cool. Would you say the Fishers play warmer than the other tower you played? Yes, absolutely. Or does it lean more neutral? Well, Fishers are not warm. Okay. They are absolutely detailed. And with a smooth, really smooth through the mids and highs, but extended. And they have a mid bass that no other box speaker, that no Wood or MDF speaker has. I don't even think I necessarily recognize it from the granite speakers or the glass speakers that I've heard. But there's something about Slate that gives a mid bass that is like no other. And it is like snare. Snare sounds like snare, you know. Snare sounds like a splash on other speakers. So the Egglestons were more hi-fi sounding. They're like typical sounding hi-fi, strong bass, you know, and clean extended highs, but just strident, you know, a little bit strident on top, a little bit. There's just something that doesn't complete the picture. It sounds really good and you listen, but it's not a complete picture. And it takes listening to Fisher and Fishers to realize, holy shit, I'm missing a whole section of the frequency range in that other speaker. It sounds really good, but I had no idea until I put these Fishers in, like, holy shit, what I'm missing. So that's how, I mean, if you heard only Egglestons, you would be like, these things sound amazing, because they do. But then when you put Fishers in, that changes the whole thing. You're like, okay, let me sell these. By the way, those Egglestons, like I said, they're very good sounding. I prefer the sound of Fisher. They're for sale for half price. So somebody take them off my hands, because, you know, they're not going to be, I'm not going to use them. They were my backup speakers, but now I will always keep a pair of Fishers. What I realized is I sold the last shipment of Fishers I had. I sold everything. And then I realized that was a mistake. I'm never doing that again, because I'll have my backup speakers will be Fishers. I'll keep one here always, instead of having to go to a different brand, because that did not work out. I was not happy. I was not listening. I was just like, it's cool in here, but it's not really doing it. It kind of ruined it for me. Shane, what's up, man? Where were you, dude? You're supposed to call me today. You never called. I'm waiting to talk to you. I can talk to you after I get off of this live stream. Shane has the 470s in the house. Yes, they are brilliant microphones. Oh yeah, Shane knows about Neumann. I was at Expona in 23. Hearing was shot after the first day. Yeah, that's another thing that you'll realize at these shows. People play too freaking loud. It's like because many systems, they don't have nuance. And so when you can really tell the good audio systems are the ones that play at low volume, that give you everything, that give you full dynamic range at low volume. That's hard to do. You can get the dynamic range by cranking shit up. And so people fall back. It's a fallback. It's a fail safe. Play it loud everything will sound intense, but it's just like you can see through it. If they're playing loud, I turn around and walk out. I shake my head, turn around and walk out. Rick in Memphis. No, I'm not going to take him in. Yeah, I'll see if he's been trying to come on to see if he's got anything to say. Live stream now. Happening now. Okay. So yeah, you go to those things and it'll be loud and then your ears get shot out, man. Norman U87 have recorded many a dead show. You know it, man. On 99% of all our records. There you go. Buffalo Bultofta. What is that, dude? Hello, are you going to carry the Meitner MA3i, the updated one? If so, are you testing it? I will be testing it. It's coming in. John's going to send it to me, and I'm going to have on Amadeus on the show too. But I want to wait and listen to the new DAC. But I want to see how did it change? What did they do? I really want it to be my $10,000 piece, really bad. So. That's just standard stereo imaging. It amazes me how many audiophiles don't have a system that images correctly. It is. It is. The problem is, and I'll tell you, here's what happens. So people want to get into the audiophile game, and they maybe have an idea like all I have to do is go on the forums and listen to people and go find some shit half price on AudioGone or wherever, and I'll be able to just set it in my room and put it in a in a equilateral triangle, and then I'm going to be set. If I just buy this stuff and put it in the room, it doesn't happen that way unless you have experience in how to set up an audio system. It's like taking it's like saying, oh, I'd like to do car racing, so I can go online and pick up a used race car for 30 grand, and then I can take it to the track and just take it there and just drive it on the track and think you don't have to tune the suspension for that particular track. And you don't have to, do all the other things to make sure that all the fuel is getting burned at that altitude and, or whatever, most of them are probably fuel injected. I know, whatever. You can't just put an audio system in your room and expect it to work. And if you go on forums and listen to people on forums try and describe to you how to set up an audio rig, it's going to be different every time, and you're going to get misled. I went to this guy's house. He's a local dude who had over $100,000 rig, and he had some TAD monitors at the time. He's gone upstream now. He kept going up higher and higher. And I came in and I was just like, he had AccuPhase, all this good AccuPhase stuff, and TAD reference monitors. And I came in and sat down where he sat, and I was like, hold on. And I got up and I moved the speakers in 1 inch on both sides, like 1 to 2 inches, towed him in and sat down and said, okay, sit down. He sat down. He was like, oh my God. He was like, I can't believe it. That's all you did? And I'm like, yep. But that's what we know how to do, man. I sat down and went, this image is too wide. It's not focused. It's out there. It's past my ears. I can hear that kind of stuff right away. I know exactly what needs to happen. And then I took his speaker cables and I put them, he had by wires that had jumpers. He was by wiring the speaker cables. I put them to the top. You don't put on a by wire, if you're using jumpers, you don't put the speaker cables on the bottom and then use those shit ass jumpers to send the high frequency up to the tweeter. No, you put it on the top and then you use those shit ass jumpers to jump the bass down, because the bass is less important. It doesn't have all the detail and nuance that the highs do. So you always by wire from the top. Or if you have, I'm sorry, you always single wire a bi-wired speaker with jumpers from the top. Okay. So I did that next. And he's like, oh my God, we got another layer of detail and another. He's like, oh my God, man. Like, So glad I had you come over. And then he had bought a whole bunch of cables from me, and I put them all in. And anyways, so that's that. I mean, and people don't understand that. Here's a guy with a whole ton of money, and he's still, it's not imaging correctly, and he didn't even know. I had to come in and set it for him. And I just heard from somebody that he just had an acoustician come to, because then he went and bought the big Tads and bought the Darts Eels and all this shit, and he still had to hire an acoustician to come and set his room, because end users don't know how to fucking set up a room. I mean, that's all there is to it. Look, you can get it close, and look, if you do what Tom does, as Tom's doing, is you move them around. You have to do that. You will get there, and all you do is call me on the phone, send me pictures of the room, and I can help Tommy get his stuff set up. And he has called, and you guys, you're not bugging me when you call. I'm happy to assist. But if I get out there, I'll come to Tom's place and sit in the room and listen and know, yep, you got it nailed, or no, it's not, nailed. Let's do this. Because it just comes with experience, just like anything, right? But yeah, the other day I was at that, maybe you saw the video. I was at the guy with the Magnapans and the subwoofers, and his Maggies were broken. He didn't even know, but his tweeters weren't working. And we're like, dude, your speakers are jacked, bro. Like this sounds like ass. Like it doesn't just sound like it needs a tweak. Like it sounds broken, your rig. And we fixed it for him, but we had to get those speakers out and put some other ones in, and then fix one tweeter on one side, and then match them to the subs. And then he keeps sending me something. He sent me something today, man. You guys, I'm so glad. I'm sitting here listening to the rig, and what you did was indispensable, to come by and set me up like that. And you're right, man. People don't know that they're listening to complete fucking shit, and they're sitting there going, wow, I don't get it. I mean, they have an inkling, like he knew something needed to be done. That's why he called me to come over. He's like, dude, I need you to come over. I'll pay you $500 to come over and set up my, figure out my room, just reset the speakers or do whatever. And so we came out and then we're like, okay, this is broken, bro. But he was sitting there listening to stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, how horrible to have to listen to music like this. Like this is, like it would drive me crazy. Like I wouldn't even be able to listen to music if that was how it sounded. And then you get people into a room that's set up and they just don't know what to do. They're not accustomed to it. A dark and bloody ground. Oh, I don't know what that is. What's your opinion on tube DACs? Anything that you can recommend? I don't like tube DACs. So if I'm going to recommend a tube DAC, I would recommend a, Aesthetics. So that's a good tube DAC. But again, tube DAC's not really my thing. Tubes, I don't think should be in the computer. Don't put tubes in the computer. Put tubes on the amps, or the preamp. Keep them in the analog area. And I know it's the analog output section of a DAC, but I just don't. And there are some good sounding tube DACs, but I'm not into them. I don't like them. I had a Lampezator top of the line at one point. I had the Aesthetics. I had a Vermeer. I had a APL Hi-Fi. So I've had some tube DACs, and they can sound killer. But the MPD 8 beat all of them. Yes, outboard MPSX with MPD 6. MPD 6, you can just get the inboard, the one on board. You don't need the outboard with the MPD 6 because you don't lose a power supply to add it into the MPD 6. So I would say the one to put it together is to put MPS or MPD 6 with streamer, and there's no transport, and it's, what is it, 18 grand that way. Just holler, brother, and I'm happy to help you. Like, give me a chance to earn your business. You bet, man. What would give you smoother, less digital sound? Meitner MA3 or audio analog DAC? Speakers are Focal Sopras. Meitner MA3. Yep. So if you want a smoother, more less digital sound, I mean, look, the audio analog is not going to be digital sounding, okay? And they freaking love it. I've never had one return, knock on wood, and I have a bona fide return policy. But the Meitner MA3 is exceptionally, it stands out as in the original I'm talking about. I haven't heard the MA3i yet to hear if it's changed. But if you're interested in one of those, I've got one in black it's got the streamer, it's got everything on it. And I'd sell it for $7,500. And I think they are 11.5 right now. And this thing's new. It'll have a warranty just like new. Larry Gaines, like the show, getting fiber soon, then some real source for my DIY stuff. Cool, man. Awesome. See you at the Florida Audio Show. Mickey can't make it. Okay, buddy. We'll hang out, man. Sorry to hear that, but we will hang out for sure. Hey, Mikey, I love your show. Thanks, Henrik. Thanks for that. I hope you will sometime test the new OnTech DAC 30 SE now that you have tested the DAC 07. Yeah, does that one have a volume control? Because DACs without volume control, I don't really fuck with, because my DAC right now, I mean, I have the DAC 07, but to really try and give a proper, here's what happens, so everybody knows. So I have a DAC that doesn't require a preamp because it's such a good analog output section. That's the MPD8. And even if you have vinyl, they have an option for an analog input. So there's no longer a preamp needed. A preamp is an outdated piece of gear, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only reason people still use them is one of two things. Either A, they have vinyl and they need to have it, okay, to control volume, or two, their system isn't quite good enough without putting a preamp in, and the preamp colors the sound because that's the only thing it can possibly do, and it gives it makes it better, it makes it more pretty, right? The MPD8 was the only DAC, and then there was the MPD6 would be the same, where a preamp is not going to improve anything. It's just going to make it sound more colored, and you can hear that coloration. So for me, I got rid of the preamp, and I try, and if people, and again, I have one way of building an audio system for people. And if they have vinyl, sure, we can talk about preamps. I sell some killer preamps, but if we can not do that, then it's better. So I don't have a preamp that I use in my rig. So if I want to test the DAC 30 SE, I'm going to get the flavor of a preamp. I'm not going to be able to test the DAC 30 SE and judge it on its own merit. I'm going to need to judge a DAC 30 SE with a preamp and then judge the pair on their own merit. And I don't currently, so it would entail me employing a preamp in and then comparing the MPD8 and bypassing its volume control and using it through a preamp that I'm not accustomed to, because I haven't had a preamp for like 3 years, 4 years. And so it's like, it's hard for me to give any sort of a real good feedback, on a DAC without a volume control. Next, DAC 30 SE, I'm not sure how much it is, but it starts to get into the price range of other offerings. So, what are we could be comparing it to? A Meitner, an 07 SE, or I'm sorry, a double A DAC or something like that. So it's a hard thing for me to do, and give people a real, Ola was supposed to make me something with a volume control. I'm still waiting on it. If we got something with a volume control, now we're cooking with fire for me. Mikey, what do you think about Sim Audio Moon? I just don't, man. Sim Audio used to be the shit. Back in the day, man, that was badass stuff. It was so cool. It looked so different, so unique. They got very popular, and then they became kind of commercialized. Didn't somebody, I can't remember who bought them, maybe like Denon Morant's group or something like that. And they just, they started showing up at Best Buy and Magnolia stores and stuff like that. And then I think sort of like for me, the coolness factor was gone. So I don't think they're bad pieces, but I don't think they are what they once were. That used to be the shit. It was really fucking badass. I loved the old Sim Audio stuff. It was cool. Now it's kind of petered out. It's kind of gone mainstream, if you will, kind of gone commercial a little bit. That's just my feeling about it, you know. Are the Oriacos going to be a new line you're going to carry? Are they one-offs? No, it's a line, and I will carry them. I just need to wrap my head around a little bit more how they're used so I know how to recommend them to people and how to sell them properly. They're not right for everybody in every rig, right? They're very specialized. They're very unique and very different. So I need to get to know them, and then I'll know where to place them, right? But I need to spend time getting to know them. It take a month. It takes a month with any speaker, um, to get to know it and how it works and how you're going to sell it and how you're going to properly represent it and put it into what system for what person. Evolution Acoustics are made in China. Just saying, are they really? Are you kidding me? Those huge ass things. They weren't always made in China, were they? Hey Shane, Mikey, what's the retail price of the G6? What's that? A Gulfstream? What's the price of the G6 and that new Italian panel speaker? What is the G6? Am I missing something? What's the G6, man? The new Italian panel speaker is called the AirTech. It's the only speaker that AirTech makes. I can't remember. I should find out what the model is. The only one they make. So it's the AirTech speaker. 35,000 US is the price of the AirTech. And it is probably, it's something that competes with like the Diptyque, or something like that. I would imagine. But I don't think Diptyque has neodymium magnets, and this one does. So if we're using neomags, we're probably now starting to get into Clarisys territory. Clarisys are more elaborate mechanical builds than this one is. This one's a little simpler. But then again, it doesn't have metal pieces coming straight across the front, which are got to cause reflections back at the panel. I would never design a speaker with horizontal metal bars across the front. But I'm not a speaker designer, but it just doesn't seem like a good idea. What is the G6? Do you send out loaner pieces to try at home? No. Why would I do that? Tell me how that would work. Tell me how that would be a good idea, how it would work, and who gives a shit about that. Like, people send me $100,000, never heard shit. They don't need to hear it. They trust Mikey, right? So the only reason you send out loaner pieces is to try and convince someone who's on the fence. I don't need to convince anybody on the fence. Don't buy it. That's what I say to them. You want a loaner piece? Don't buy it. What I do, however, is you buy it and then it goes out to you. And then if it doesn't do what I say it was going to do, if it doesn't blow you away, right, then you can send it back and I give you all your money back. There's no restock fee at all. You just pay for shipping. That's it. So that's the best thing to do. So that is the closest thing to loaner. But the idea of sending out a loaner is silly. That's for like guys that are they have a new design and it's like a total guy in his home building shit and he's trying to get his foot in the door and he's trying to get notoriety. Then guy like that will send out a loaner to people. Here, pass it around to your audiophile group buddies and you guys can listen to it. And then maybe someone buys one. But I don't have brands like that. These things are already proven ass kicking. I take them to shows and I don't need to send out loaners. There's no reason for it. I don't need to convince anybody. But so it's rarely seen. And if I'm not mistaken, what you're talking about is getting something free that you haven't paid for, and then somebody's sending it to you and taking the total risk. Like this you could take it, and then nobody would be able to do anything about it. I don't know anybody that does that unless they're desperate to get a name for themselves and they're trying to make a name, and they have like their prototype or whatever, and they send it out or whatever, something like that. Very few people do that. Bit off topic. What microphone are you using? Just curious. I am using a Neumann. What is it? The U7 BCM 705. It's a Neumann BCM 705. Does it sound that good? I've got a killer mic tube mic pre. I'm not using it right now. I'm using a cheap ass Focusrite. But I had a manly mic pre. You know, like I could put an SSL. I could put together the sickest thing. But the guys that I know in production are like, dude, there's no reason. That's for music. Like, you don't need that shit for vocal. So there's no reason for me to. But the mic is an important part. So, hey Shane, right here, bro. Bicep. I've got the dude wipes ready. Do you really? Sweet, dude. The ball wipes. That's so funny that someone marketed those things, dude wipes. I mean, can't you just use diaper wipes? But you have to have it in like a black plastic thing that says dude wipes instead of just using freaking diaper wipes that are $3 or whatever. You got to have your $20 dude wipes. Greetings from Asheville, Mike. Hey, man, how's everything up there? What kind of headphones are you rocking? These are HD 650s. Again, overkill for vocal. Unfortunately, I've got, still, it's only working in one side. This side's out. I lent them out and they came back only working on half of the side. So I got some others that Tony sent me, the guy that we talked to, the speaker designer. They're just, closed back. These are open back. So it's not as good for what I'm doing. A closed back is. And so I've got some Audio Technica, whatever, they're top of the line, something Audio Technica. Not normally a brand I'd go for. I would have gone for Sennheiser or AKG or something like that. But it's not needed for what I'm doing right here. And I do not use headphones to listen to music ever. So there you have it. Fisher and Fisher baby monitors. Yeah, they're kick-ass, brother. They are kick-ass. Those things are winning awards around the globe as we speak. How can you stand not setting up those 1,000 Fisher and Fisher? You have more patience than I do, dude. It's eating me up, brother. Look, I have a job to do, which is to figure out a lot of these other speakers and sell to you guys. And the other thing is, these are 650-pound behemoths, and I need to do some work in my room. And I'm by myself here, dude. I can't have my girlfriend help me lift this shit. So I'm gonna fly Charles in from California. He's gonna come hang out for a week, and then he'll help me do all the shit. It'll be motivation, man. I defer to just daily business when I'm by myself, and to go in there and do that shit all by. I've got to roll up the rug. The rug is a little trashed. I've got a brand new custom rug that is sitting there ready to be rolled out. I'm just gonna make the room a little nicer before I put these things in. Look, I mean, I'm upping my system to $110,000 speakers. I'll have, like over $100,000 in amplifiers. I'll have 40 grand on my front end. So it's going to be a $250,000 system. And I don't want to just throw it in some room. I want to dial this room in. So it's like actually interior design gorgeousness, and I've got some really cool ideas for some things. It's going to take a little while, man, but I know it's tough not to, because I listen to these 370s and they're so damn good. And I'm like, oh my God, if these are this good, what are the 1000s going to be like? They're going to be retarded, man. I mean, I can't wait. Really can't wait. I cannot do any YouTube. So kudos to you. Yeah, I know, man. It's a love-hate relationship. I love talking to my peeps. That's what I like. And then I like fucking around. I like doing shit like that dick thing, measurements are for dicks, because it's like blow darting into a sheep herd. So it's fun for me. It's like, it's fun. It's a stink bomb, and it's fun shit because I'm Dennis the Menace. I love shit like that. It's just funny to, get all the hens upset in the hen house, but, and more so people get me, like when I do stuff like that, you guys get me. So you go, look at that shit. You love it, because I'm giving the middle finger to the establishment by doing thumbnails like that, and many of my vids, man. You know what? I don't know how to get it to my top of my list, but I was looking at, have you guys seen boobs at 20 hertz? I don't know if you guys have seen that. I did it several years back. I had a woman with a bikini top on put her titties into a 21-inch sub, and then I played 20 hertz and we watched her titties jiggle. That is brilliant shit. We were gonna put a stickum dildo right in the middle and have the dildo bouncing around like on the middle, but I can't go that. That's too vulgar. So I could do the titties. So I did the titties in the subwoofer. You know, it's just that shit is funny, man. I mean, that's like it's so otherwise it's too stodgy and stuffy and stupid and gay and fucking dorky, right? It's like, you know, and no offense, you know what I mean, gay. If you grew up and when I grew up, you know, when I say gay, I don't mean, you know, homo. I mean, you know, so it's just too, you know, whatever. So I got to break it up. I do some shit to break it up and I have fun. And that makes it fun for me because I know the reaction. I drop it and it's like, it's like, funk, you know, when I press that publish, I know it's blow dart. It's a blow dart right into the herd. So it's fun shit. But just look up. I tried to put it to the top of my feed, but it's buried in there. Just look at, let me see. I'll give you the exact title of it so you guys can find it. Let me search my content. Okay, let's see. Let me do this. Search 20 HZ, big H, little Z. Okay. Okay. So just type in, when you're searching on my channel, type in 20, no space, capital H, small z, and you'll get Kajungas at 20 hertz. Okay. So that's the title. Kajungas, Kajungas, Kajungas at 20 hertz. Test. And I'm like doing my dude impression. I'm in like a Indian, what do they call those, kirtan or whatever, like one of them long shirts. And then I've got my beads, my Rude Rocks beads, and I've got the sunglasses on, the Dolce sunglasses. I've got a stogie in my hand, and I'm like being the dude, right? It's funny shit, dude. You guys got to see some of my old shit. I used to tear it up. I would play characters, you know, and just like, you know, it's fun for me to do shit like that, you know. It's otherwise, if it's serious, it's not fun for me, man. It's got to be fun. It has to be fun. New to the hobby, buy nice or buy twice. Yes, exactly. I've got no sunk cost in existing equipment. Should I just go active like D&D 8C? It depends on what your on how critical you are for hi-fi. I've still not heard any active monitor that was able to do it for me. They work and they're great for parties and they're great for ease of use. And, you know, if it's just like you're having friends over and you want to jam tunes, you know, Dutch and Dutch make sick, you know, loud. You can play them freaking loud, you know, and wicked with the bass, man. And they're fun like that. Like it would be a fun party speaker. But if you want to get that shit where the hair rises on your arms and it feels like there's a ghost in the room because the music sounds so realistic and it like locks you in your chair and you can't get out of your chair because you're almost a little bit freaked out by how intense it is. It's a system will dominate your every sense when you get it really good. It gets into your psyche, you know. It's not just dominate you with bass, like, you know, it's like dominate your thoughts, you know, like get you to where you can just only think about the music, and you can't, and it seems like time has stopped completely. So let's see if there was any. No, okay. Just wanted to see if anything came in. Anybody was trying to call in. We're getting towards the end. I think I'm going to limit this one to an hour and a half because otherwise I'll go too long, man. Pair of Kleins. They're sweet, man. On the desk, there's nothing better. Respect that. Right on. That $3,500 speaker, new record day, worked with Danny, GR Research, introducing Aria, the standard speaker that redefines. So stupid, bro. It's so stupid. Redefines holographic imaging. Oh my God, I could just puke with that fucking tagline. It's for idiots that fucking don't know any better. You're telling me some little cheap ass fucking $3,500 speaker. You're just totally trying to whatever, just, you know, I just, look, dudes, I've been doing this for 25 years. I've seen all the marketing bullshit. You could say redefines holographic imaging for every motherfucking speaker from 1970 to now. That is something that is such a generic fucking term that it's like, oh my God, really? You're using that again? You just, and then they're doing a copy. It looks like a fucking Sonus Faber or like an opera loudspeaker, which we can get for, and then they put a driver on back. Is that what's a breakthrough? A fucking backfiring driver? Oh my God. You know, um, so whatever, everybody can do whatever they want, but it's funny that this little release comes right after slagging, Wilson, using the Wilson name to get everybody's attention, and then claiming that you're speaker god, fixing, a company that's 10 times more successful than you will ever be. And then using your friend to pimp him on his channel. It's just all the hallmarks of this hustle. And then Danny plays it like he's doing good for the industry, like I should read you the fucking email that I got from this guy, like I'm gonna basically telling me he's gonna force the industry to be better, like I'm helping the industry. It's like, dude, you're selling your shit is what you're doing. Oh no, I'm not trying. No, I'm not doing that. No, I don't monetize it. No, I don't really make any, I don't, he said, I don't do speakers because they compete with the guys that I designed for. And now he's just releasing a speaker. It's like, I could take his email and I could read it to you guys and we could dissect it line by line, and we could find hypocrisy from the time at the top of the email all the way to the bottom. We could find full tilt bullshit lies. He said, I don't use Magico I've never used Magico in a title or of one of my videos. And I sent him a freaking copy, a screenshot of him sitting there that says Wilson or Magico, which one's better? I'm like, dude, oh God, you must think you're talking to an idiot, just like you talk to the people that gobble up your whatever you're spewing out. I'm not a dumbass, bro. You just, anyways, anybody can do whatever they want, but I can be disgusted by the same old shit anyways, too. And for somebody to say objectively, I don't like something, or I mean, subjectively, I don't like the way of this sound, and I tuned it to sound like I like. He doesn't say that. He says the shit's broke and I fixed it. It's like, no, dude, there's nothing that's like that in audio, and there's a reason they have diffraction on those speakers, that's the thing. He thinks just because there's diffraction that's bad. It's like, no, you don't think they have measurement tools? You don't think they knew there was diffraction? Of course they did. There's a reason they did it. They allowed that bad thing in order to gain a good thing somewhere else. It's like, that's how speaker design goes. And he measured the shit 3 feet from the speaker. That's not how we listen. That's not how Wilson's, that's not how they measure them. They measure them from the fucking listening position. So he's doing it all wrong. And then he's claiming like he's speaker god. And it's just, and the reason I do it is because it's for the same reason Danny does his videos, right? So I do my videos to expose the lies and the bullshit that go on with making speakers. Well, I do my videos to expose the lies and the bullshit that go on with people selling shit. Okay. So it's the same thing applies. I'm making the industry a better place too. People need to start fucking stopping their bullshit. Okay. And he applies the same thing towards speaker. I apply it towards sellers. Okay. So it's just the same thing. I'm not doing anything different. I'm just, pointing it at a different, trying to show you guys the bullshit, because, man, I mean, the same thing is happening on the YouTube that happens in the magazines. And just, you guys got to be aware, everybody's selling something. Even if they say they're not, they're selling something. Okay. They're selling advertising, or they're selling a concept. It doesn't mean they have to take money. If they're a church sells, what do they sell? They sell God, they sell salvation, right? And you're supposed to tithe, give your money, right? And of course, some of them have the audaciousness to tell you the more you put in, the more you will get back. The more money you put in our collection plate, the more good karma you'll have, the more blessings you will get from the Lord. It's ridiculous. So everybody sells something in the world. It's a service, it's a product, it's something. But people think only selling is just products. No, they're selling concepts, they're selling ideas, they're selling services, they're selling food, they're selling supplements, they're selling everything, man. Every freaking thing is sales. And so you just need to be aware of what's happening and try and connect the dots. New record date, Danny, friends, living, in the same town, helping each other. This other guy, okay. And you put the two, what's the audience? The audience is DIYers. Okay. So just realize you're being marketed to, and it's not anybody helping anybody. It's not trying to give you proper information. And Danny comes across like he's giving real factual, proper information. It's like, dude, your information is totally skewed. You're measuring 3 feet away from the freaking speaker and then trying to tell people that they're poorly designed. It's absolutely ridiculous. But people eat it up because they don't know any better. They don't have anybody willing to say it except for somebody like me that's willing to say some shit like that and tell you guys you're being misled, man. And that's why I did that whole thing, how to mislead an audiophile. Tell them that you did measurements. That's how you mislead them. You baffle them with bullshit. Look, well, my laptop says that this line doesn't match that line, so it shouldn't sound good. It's not like that, man. It's like sit your ass down and listen to it and then compare it. Put it next to something else and see what sounds better. Look, I will probably be at and I think he's releasing his speakers at Southwest. So you can put his room against mine. Come to my room, go to Danny's room, see which room sounds better. Simple and easy. Joe Novak, Kef is LS50 is cheaper. Okay, I don't know. When you get to 30K, maybe you could give away one of your record bags. There you go. That would be cool. I mean, hopefully the person has records, And the record bag, shit, what are they? $500? Do you know how much that would be if I stamped Gucci on it? If you guys could see, man, if I had one closer, I'd go get it, but it would take a second. I'll show it to you guys next time. It's got freaking real sheepskin inside, full grain, thick leather, like saddle leather. It's so far beyond anything you can buy in the store. Like I'm just using a purse or a handbag because that's the only thing I can think of that's like leather like that. Nothing gets built to this level. This thing will last 200 years. Like, it's nothing. Anyways, not gonna get it. And guys spend $500 on a freaking good pressing, so buy one of these things. Mike Fremer said he's gonna do. Mike Fremer has one, and he said he was gonna do a video on it. Mikey, that mini rant you just went on about all the crazy audiophile words reminded me of Aaron. He's a YouTube guy who has videos talking about the BS reviews. He's objective oriented. Yeah, Aaron's but he mixes subjective with the data and explains various aspects of the sound. I think you two would get along given your disdain for all these silly audiophile jargon. Yeah, and it's I don't really I don't know him. I remember the thing with was it MoFi or no, it was with a brand. I can't remember what his deal was. He had some blowout. And that's when I found out who the guy was. So that's cool. Mikey, I don't think you have mentioned Belcanto, American Stuff. Yeah, Belcanto is John Stronzer, man. He's a good guy too. That's cool stuff, and it's cool build. And again, Belcanto is one of those that I haven't seen in a while. The older stuff and some of that old stuff was really freaking cool. It was built well. It had smart features built into it. Just cool stuff. I saw one that somebody had done copper plating on it. My buddy had it, and it was cool, man. And he got it for peanuts. Like he got a pair of them. I think it was a DAC that had DAC and a power supply or something. And I looked at that thing. I was like, man, this thing is cool, dude. They used to make audio so much cooler, man. They'd have cool knobs that were special, and now they just don't do it. They just put plain stuff. They have homogenized the audio, and they used to do really, really wicked things. Like, man, remember MSB analog DAC that had like the top that had holes and then the display would come through, the LEDs would show through the holes in the lid. So you didn't see a display. It just looked like a lid with the top of the chassis with some air holes in them, maybe. And then when you turned it on, it would light up and you'd see these dot matrix like letter. It was so fucking badass. To this day, I mean, one of my favorite cool looking chassis designs. I love commercial design, and I love a badass design box for electronics is very hard to do. And when they do cool shit like that, and Belcanto was one of those super cool design. It's never really it's good stuff, you know. It's never really made me feel like, oh my god, I've got to have it, you know. But there's nothing bad I can say about it, and I think you can get it really inexpensive on the secondhand market. There's a Danish brand called Dad. That's it. Yeah. He mixes subjective with the data and explains. Yeah, we said that. Mikey, haven't ever heard you. Oh yeah, we already did that. How are we doubling up on this, man? Um, uh, a clerk, you say? Yeah, a salesman, a guy, a lackey that makes $10 an hour, $15 an hour, that stands in the showroom, and then when people walk in, they're like, "Oh, hi, sir, may I help you?" One of those guys. Pick up the Danish brand if they negotiate Greenland as part of the deal. Yeah, right. Ghost Hunter, there's a thread on the mastering forums where they tore into him. It was a quite funny read. What are the mastering forums? You mean like music mastering? And why would they be talking about him in a mastering forum? Interesting. I wonder what mastering forum are you talking about? But yeah, you know, he's an advertiser. His words mean shit. They mean nothing. They're paid for, you know? So to watch that guy and try and figure out what sounds good, you're not going to know shit. He's just going to tell you everything sounds good because he's getting paid for it. Even shitty stuff, you know, is going to sound great. It's going to be the best thing I've ever heard. Oh my god, unbelievable. You know, what was that? You know, showcases holographic imaging in an incredible way. It's just like, oh my god, dude, you really can't find any other words to use than that. It's just such a newbie thing. It's like you're so exposed as a newbie, like that you don't even have words to describe sound other than the archaic ancient words, like the ones that the parroted ones, the ones that everybody parrots that doesn't know shit about hi-fi, because the sophisticated people know more descriptive terms than holographic imaging. Holographic imaging is empty, you know. Jay had Wilson's as his own favorites for a while. I guess his ears improved recently. We know what Jay does, right? Jay works the algorithm, man. Jay's fucking really good at it, man. He knows how to make videos that he makes the train wreck videos. And he knows that, and he's good at figuring out how to make the things that everybody clicks at, and then, you know, and he does really good. So Jay had Wilson's, those were his favorite thing, you know, and you know, but it wore out. Something else, slagging him was going to bring more clicks. So, you know, and I don't think he's ever hid the fact that he's after clicks. He wants to build his channel, and he's doing a good job at it. You know, he surpassed me. Remember, Jay was behind me with clicks, and he would tell me sometimes, you know, like, he'd say, I'm coming after you, man. I'm coming after you. You better work. And I'm like, you know, Jay, I don't care really about the clicks and about the subscribers, because what I care about is building my client base. And that's exactly what's happened. And that's why I make less videos, because more people talk to me every day, and consult, and I'm setting up more audio systems, than anything. So I don't have time to sit and edit videos and create content, because I'm not a content creator. I sell and set up rigs. So my videos are just live stream. Live stream is the easiest thing for me to do, and people seem to enjoy it, and I get to engage with you guys, which is what I love to do anyways. So yeah, so whatever's going to bring the clicks, man, whatever's going to bring the peeps, that's what Jay's going to do. And again, he's good at it, man. Cheap Audio Man has a watch YouTube channel as well. Oh, really? What does he have? Swatches? If given the option, how would you choose between using two respectable stereo amps as a vertical biamp versus a single exceptional stereo amp? Depends. Um, if it's two respectable and a single exceptional, I'm going with the exceptional every time. Same brand and equal price between the two options. Same brand and equal price. Well, if they would the stereo amp would have to be clearly better than the vertical biamp. Otherwise, I do a vertical biamp for sure every time. Vertical biamp is one of my favorite things. Hey, Mikey, DAD is also a Danish rock band. Earlier called Disneyland After Dark. Disneyland After Dark. Huh. What happens in Disneyland after dark? I don't know. Does it involve me taking my clothes off? Holy shit. That just sounds scary. Disneyland after dark, right there. I'm like, not so much. I don't want those little, furries coming out, man, and doing weird shit. Okay. Special guest speaker designer Ryan Spot. You missed that. Yeah, Tom. Ryan called in sick. He wasn't feeling well. So I'll have him on at a further date. So I apologize about that. We were basically just going to talk about measurements and how he measured and how you give up one thing to get another. And so to take a speaker and put a microphone 3 feet from it and then try and make judgment calls on it and then come on like it's on and make a video about it. Look, if you want to tune speakers for people and do it, just do it. But to come on and make a video about it, that's the issue. And then at that point, it's like, well, okay, let's think about the timing. Why would he do this? Why would he make a video about it? Oh, he's releasing a $3,500 DIY speaker or one that they put it together, of a flimsy $3,500 speaker, or whatever it is, I don't know. It's only $3,500. What can it be? The best thing in 3D imaging and holographic imaging, maybe, who knows? I'll probably get punched if I go into his room. So I don't know if I will or not, but I would like to go. I'd like to go and listen and see if it's all it's cracked up to be. The guy talks like he's speaker god. So if he won't, boot me out of his room. Did you guys? I hope you guys didn't hear that beef. I just realized I totally just beefed, and this is a good microphone. It might have picked that up. Oh man. Oh wait, what was this? I remember when Cheap Audio Man used to make fun of the channels that had sponsors. Yep, back in the good old days. Didn't take him long till he turned face and started taking sponsors. I can't take him seriously. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's just what happens here, I'm not going to do it. I don't need it. As long as you guys keep buying audio. I'm an audio salesman. I sell audio for my money. I don't do this for my money. What do I think of coaxial? They can be super cool. They're slightly limited, I think, in some regards. But they are, very coherent and they have something special. I haven't found one that I, really would want to marry to. And, but there's always a chance. They're cool. I think they're cool. Thomas Stereo is a nice guy. Yeah, Thomas is totally, gentle soul. He seems like a gentle soul. Like I can't imagine that guy even swearing, And I think Thomas was another clerk, wasn't he? Didn't Thomas and Jay both work for Adrian at Audio Excellence? There's only a few audio YouTubers that admit that clicks alone won't pay the bills. Yeah, I mean they will. Yeah, auto for sure. Auto will. Automobile. Yeah, if you're that Doug, what's his name? Doug M. Doug. Can't remember his name. Demaro or something. Doug Demaro or whatever his name is. That dude. Shit. I mean, look, if you have millions of viewers and automobiles will get that because everybody's into automobiles almost. Very few people are into audio. So for audio, yeah, it's going to be hard. You'd have to have a millions of viewers and then you get big paychecks. Like those guys get a lot of money. Mikey, if you plan to go to Exponent, maybe you can set up a meet and greet for the tribe one of those days so we can meet up in real life. Absolutely. I do that at every single show. So I will start to announce it in a location. So just stay tuned. Well, all the YouTubers are just trying to make it too, of course. Some have had hundreds and hundreds of devices in and out. I tend not to trust their opinions, but do think they serve a purpose. Yeah, it's a way for you guys to put eyes on stuff, you know? It's like a catalog or something like that. Like you can't really tell shit if it's good or not, but you can put your eyes on it, you know? They're going to say good things about everything they have through. And when you have hundreds and hundreds of devices in and out, you're not really giving them a good, it's not going to be a worthwhile review anyways, because you don't get to know it that quick. It's impossible. You can do one product per month if you're going to do a good job. Okay. So that would mean you'd be doing 12 products per year. Okay. Anything more than that, you're not really getting to know it. It's a useless review. In my opinion. Andrew has the biggest audio channel right now. I think he definitely got bigger because it is a lifestyle channel, pretty much. A couple measurements, a couple listening impressions, home theater included. Yeah, home theater. That's all you got to say is that, man. And then you got a ton more people on board. And if it's anything mainstream and inexpensive, you can get a ton of people. DIY shit, things that are under $3,000 or under $5,000, you can get a ton. But that is not where my passion lies. Sorry, Exponent is a great experience, but all the worst things Mikey says about the hi-fi industry are on full display at the event. Sure, you'll see the know-it-all jackasses. You'll see the arrogant pricks that are in these rooms that are wearing suits. It's like, fuck, this is music, dude. What are you doing wearing business fucking attire, dude? Oh my God. Oh, I can't stand it. It's like, it's just so clear. It's corporate interest, You're like, oh, and the Europeans with their tight suits, and their tight fucking fitting shit, and you're like, oh God, okay, dude, you got a nice body and all that. I'm proud of you. But fuck, man, this is, supposed to be fun. So maybe they have fun in suits, I don't know. But it's just it's not my vibe, It could be for a lot of people their vibe, and you do see a lot of stuff, and you can go see a ton of stuff. So it's fun as an attendee. Plus, you meet up with your buddies, you go to the restaurant or whatever, and hang out, have fun, and just talk shit and have a good time, smoke cigars, eat steaks, whatever. I watched some of the channels to just get an idea of what the product looks like. There you go. Just like what I was saying in features, just research. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a catalog, right? Also, once you're big on any platform, the algorithm just pushes your content in a lot of cases, for sure. The other thing that would probably help is if I put merch on my thing. So somehow they were making money off my channel, or somehow Amazon was making money off my channel, then they would promote it more, because it suits them more if I'm selling merch and they're making a piece of it. I saw Absolute Sound reviewers say he's heard Magnapan and Martin Logan, but never heard speakers disappear until now. Okay. So, okay. Why do you give any credence to an Absolute Sound reviewer? They're journalists. He probably hasn't heard shit. Who is it? Is it somebody we know? Is it a big name? Or is it somebody a no-namer? Is it somebody that's been there for 50 years? They're not going to get excited by a fucking $3,500 speaker unless they've got some interest in doing so. Or it's the friend, if it's your friend, he's going to do it. Even if he doesn't have a financial interest, he's going to do it because he's your friend and he's hooking up a friend, if he's been there for a long time and he's never heard speakers disappear, I feel sorry for him. He hasn't heard very good audio systems. He's making it disappear by putting a backfiring mid-range or whatever, something firing out the back, another driver, a full range driver, whatever, firing out the backside. Okay. How about a speaker that disappears that doesn't have a backfiring woofer, that isn't using tricks? That would be something, wouldn't it? How about one that images, then disappears, that you can't believe is even in the room, that is made out of slate and doesn't have a backfiring woofer? Okay. There's engineering that is much harder to do, And then there's engineer. Oh, we don't have a back wave, but we don't have an image back there. Let's just put a rear firing woofer. Sure, we'll just shoot it out the back. Okay, whatever. Easy. That's low hanging fruit design, man. There's nothing special about that. That is like that. I mean, you know how many companies have done that before? He's not the first. Why don't you and Danny sit down together and have a chat? What for? The Absolute Sound is the worst YouTube channel ever. It's painful to watch their videos. I mean, it's tough. I know that old dude, God bless him. He's somebody's grandpa, but how boring. I watched some of the channels just to see the details in video. Yeah, right. Seeing features and functions helpful for research. I don't use the opinions, empty words, of course. Yeah, exactly. The magazine was bad. The YouTube channel is worse. Yeah, unfortunately. Only omnis can disappear. That's not true. Steve Guttenberg has been writing for Stereophile for decades since he was a salesman. How he started. Yeah. Okay. He's a journalist. He's a clerk that knows how to write a story. That's cool. He's a nice guy. I'm not slagging him. He's a nice guy, but I'm just saying it's no big deal. I mean, writing for Stereophile, the more you guys understand these dudes, they're fucking journalists. They're the guys that know how to write way better than I can. Okay, I know audio way better than they do, but they can write way better than I can. So that's why they're hired at the magazines, and I'm setting up people's audio systems. If they were good at audio, really good at audio, they would be doing what I do. But they're writing instead. So that ought to tell you something. That's their career path, is writing as a writer. So there's a reason why they're writers and not sellers. Have had the opportunity to listen to Pilium Electra DAC. How does it compare to MPD8? Have no idea. Pilium is this company that just showed up on the scene like a couple of years ago. They definitely don't have the DAC creation licks that Andreas Koch does. I'll tell you that much. They definitely don't. I mean, I'm if they designed it themselves, maybe they hired Andreas Koch to make it, and if they hired Andreas Koch, it would be as good as the MPD8. But I can't say because I've never heard it. But what I can do is guess or speculate right now. And I can speculate based on how long I've seen them in the marketplace, which is like a couple nights, right? They've just barely been here. And you go by who picks them up and what guys are carrying them and selling them. So based on who's selling them, you can kind of, and then based on how short they've been in, you can kind of connect the dots and be like, okay, I can take a little guess at what this thing's going to be all about, So I can't say, but MPD8 has consistently been the most organic, natural, yet detailed. It bridges the line between being absolutely detailed and lucid and being organic and musical. What it does better than any DAC is connect you to the music on an emotional level. That is not something that is like heard. That is something that it does to you in a spiritual way or a emotional way, and it's very clear when you listen to it. It's unmistakable. Many of these other DACs, like you look at something like a Aries Seurat, which is like masquerading as something breakthrough. It's not. You look at it inside, it's a solid design, but it's old design. It's old technology. All they've done, they do that most people don't, is they take old DACs and they put fucking 50 of them in there, right? So every time you take a DAC and you double it up and you put another one and you put another pair and another pair, you reduce the signal to noise ratio gets better, right? But it's still a chip DAC, right? And they can sound all right, but it's old technology. It's nothing breakthrough. Andreas Koch's DAC takes everything in, transcodes it to single bit architecture, so it's not decoding multi-bit, which has a bunch of its of anomalies and problems. Single bit, it converts, transcodes everything to single bit, and then it bumps it up to 50 megahertz. Okay, not 386 or fucking something like that. 50 megahertz FM radio frequency. Okay, nobody else does that. And then it converts it. When it does that, there's something extremely natural. It is the most analog, for lack of a better term, sounding DAC. To know, all you need to know is that MoFi uses Playback Designs to archive their master tapes digitally, right? They use Playback Designs. They could have anything. They could have Pilium. They could have They could have anything. They could have Wadax. They could have MSB. They could have anything. They chose playback designs because that is where the real deal is. Okay. But, other sellers want to sell something more than a $26,000 DAC for them as a dealer isn't expensive enough. They want something more expensive so they make more money. I get it. Okay. I don't have the overhead to pay of one of those dealers. So I don't need to find trophy audio to sell. I sell something that's 26 grand. That's enough for me, and it's not only that, but I still haven't found anything better. I'm one of the people, if I hear something better, I'm going to have it. I will have to have it, and then I'll sell it. I haven't heard anything better yet because I like natural music. I like it to feel like where I'm emotional about it. James Chadwick, repeat after me now 10 times. Yes. Okay, 2 hours. I'm going to rip through these and then close this up. Crypto isn't helping. I know it's ruining everything, right? A bunch of rich people everywhere throwing money. OCO, everyone, hope I find you well tonight. Hey, man, OCO, smash that like button, tribe. Yeah, everybody just give a thumbs up. DACs are just high-powered computers. Exactly, man. Let's not fool ourselves. We're not. MPD8, which I would love to have, but you can get an excellent DAC on your website for $5K. That's for sure. Is the MPD worth $20K more? Absolutely. Well, okay. So we have to come back and we have to think about a person's means. Okay. Is the MPD8 worth $20K more for a guy that makes $500,000 a year? Yes, it's absolutely worth $20K more. Is it worth $20K more for somebody that makes $45K a year? Absolutely not. So it all has to do with the person's means. But in terms of, is it worth the money? For sure. This is a $26,000 DAC that doesn't get any better. It's world-class level. So it's like that, But I mean, I've got watches that are 26K. So I've got one watch that's 26K. So, it all depends on a person's means. And then, if it's worth it or not. That's really what it boils down to. Hey, Dan and Steve, what's up? Shane, how many reel-to-reel tapes do you have? A bunch, man. And then I've got hundreds. I've probably got 400. Favorites, I haven't dug into them yet. I need to archive them and I need to bake them. These are tapes from the 1970s, late 70s, early 80s. So they need to be baked and then archived. The first time I play them through, they need to be archived to DSD4. Love my dad and Volbeat. Okay, cool. Southwest in Dallas is far more laid back and time to listen. Cool. Yeah, Southwest is good. Totally agree on my streamers. Mike recently bought an AK-15K streamers on loan to compare to my 4K 10-year-old streamer. Neither of them were better, even them with their reclocker. There you go, Luan. For sure, man. It's a computer like they were talking about. You can buy a streamer for $1,000, of course, but it's not the $4,000. There's a little bit better, man. You got to get a decent power supply in a streamer. That's really the important part. Are the 570s you demoed for sale? The 570s are for sale. They're brand new, sealed. I'm sorry. They're sold. The 570s are sold. But if you want a 570, let me know and I'll get them on the next shipment. I've got a shipment coming that is 30 days out. So I can put some 570s on there, but you'll have to let me know so I can get them on there. I bought my Dynaudio Heritage Special because they sound good at low volume. There you go. Remember to give them a little knuckle test. Oh, yeah, break your knuckles. And of course, and again, thanks for your guidance. Your people appreciate. Yes, can testify not possible to get a better purchase experience than working with Mikey. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that, man. And I didn't pay him for that. Do you prefer the sound in front or behind the speakers? Maybe TV influenced me, but generally I prefer music in front of the speakers. I like music in front of the speakers, but if you put something on the back, you can make a reflection, so it gives an ambient sound. And typically you pad it down. So it's just a little fill. It's a trick. It's a trick that you use for fill. When you can't design a speaker that shoots out the front in image as well, you throw that shit on the back because you're not capable to do one on the front. So you just put one on the back. There's nothing wrong with it. It works well. It's just not high level design, in my opinion. It's much harder to make one work without that. My next bucket list item, getting you to come for a system tune. Yeah, man. When I'm there, I'll come up to the audio show and then I'll come by there. Sadly, I have family, so my imaging is crap. When the wife and kids go out of town, I rearrange the entire living room. I get it, man. You're not the only one. Room placement of speakers is critical to get correct for the best sound. Yes, it is. Tube decks didn't make sense to me. Just a dream. Yeah, I got you. Kentucky was the question to a dark and bloody ground. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so that's what it was, man. Kentucky. A military helicopter has collided with a commercial jet at Reagan. Ooh. Oh, wow, dude. Did that really happen? I got to look on the news, man. That's heavy duty. Commercial jet. Ooh, ugly. Moon's still independent. Small business. Man, I wonder how many people died. That's gnarly. And the Potomac is going to be fucking cold. Oh, that's horrible, man. I'm really sad to hear that. When are we getting here to hear the panel speakers? Soon as I need to know them first so I can do a proper intro to them. So within 30 days. So sad to hear my heart go. Oh, totally, man. It's horrid. My bad, not G6, but Oriaco D6. Oh, got you. Okay, retail price, $4,000. Don't you like Grado headphones? I don't know enough about them. I have no idea. Sure, they've been around. Streamers, well said. Mofa, thanks for the advice. What that make America afraid again? Thanks for the advice. Make OCD funny again. There you go. That's great, dude. Guru Mikey, cheers from Texas. Luther, what's up, Luther? Good to see you, man. Greetings. As a head fi guy, are you wearing 650s, HD 650s? Do you still have the Meitner MA3 at a special price? I do, $7,500 with the streamer full warranty as new. Call me tomorrow. They are 11.5 right now. Tecton, and it looks like new. There's nothing. I mean, I only had it out to listen to it and make a video. That's it. Tecton, not my bag, not my vibe. Aaron threatened by Tecton. Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay, that's right. Tecton, thanks. Hi to the tribe. Greets from Cape Town. Just waking up. Love the show. I so regret selling my vintage as an Orbel Canto. Keep it up, Mikey. Expose the BS. Thanks, brother. I can smell the bread. It's ready, man. I put some bread in the bread maker. I can smell it right now, and I'm about ready to eat fucking carb load myself at 11:15 with some butter. Damn newbie would not even wear a decent nudie suit. Right? These YouTube clerks will soon be replaced by AI. No way Mikey can replace as no algorithm available. That's for sure. Cheap Audio Man has shut down his watch channel. How do you keep up, man? What, cheap watch man? Denmark, haha, reminds me of Christmas. Christiana tea cookies make you fly. Sweet, man. Favorite Cheap Audio Man videos were the ones where he tried and semi-DAC and amp and said, I don't realize a component could do this. What a revelation. Wristwatch check. Yeah, I know, dude. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes. I just got to burn through these. To say HT, that's a cuss word for me, home theater. I know. It comes from a filmmaker. Want movies, go to a damn friggin' theater. There you go, buddy. I get it. Never been to a show. What's the best on West Coast? The LA show is pretty decent. Or the Pacific, what do they call Pacific Audio Fest in Seattle? There's one there, and then there's one in LA. Those are the only two. There might be the one in San Francisco is a shitbag show. It's teeny. It's not even worth it. Tell us about that amp you used with the Maggie LRS Plus if you didn't already. That amp was an audio analog AA100. It's a brand new amp by them. It's 100 watts per channel. It's $6,000. Super killer amp. Really good sounding. I bought my Dyne Audio from YouTube reviews, but I asked every reviewer loads of questions. I got what I expected. They don't quite have the transparency as my old Pro Axe. The one question I didn't ask. Ugh, look at that. Still better in every other way. Okay, cool. Hope you can meet up. Yeah, man. I'll let you guys know, and we'll meet up in Chicago. Hi, tribe from Houston. What's up? Arun, nice to see you, man. Power crucial. Bad power supply equals noise. Thanks, Mikey. Yes. My little cord cutest is a great DAC for under, and it's the cutest. And I love those things. I love the way they look. Good night, all. Okay, everybody. I got to go. Thanks, everybody. I will see you on Sunday. Good night, Charles. See you guys on Sunday. Later.